Hello, in this lesson we're going to place a fraction on a number line. The key to any number line is its scale. What I mean by that is the numbers have to be spaced at equal intervals. So we want to do our best to equally space the numbers along the line, and that way we can divide into halves, fourths, fifths, and so on. And what we can do then is we can place fractions on the line where they are set to go. How we know where to space fractions on a line is based on the denominator. If your denominator is 2, that means that from 0 to 1, you will have 2 equal spaces. So you will make 1 tick, giving you 2 equal spaces. And the same from 1 till 2. You make 2 equal spaces by putting 1 tick. And then you can express any fraction, like 0 out of 2, or half, or 2 halves, or 3 halves, or 4 halves. And it's same with number 2 and number 3. It's all about the denominator. However many spaces you make is based on the denominator. So 4 equal spacings between 0 and 1, and 4 equal spacings between 1 and 2. And then you'll be able to write the fraction either proper fractions, improper fractions, or mixed numbers. You'll be able to place them on the line because of the equal divisions. We're going to place these numbers on the number line, and I'm going to also number every space on the line just to show that we can have both improper fractions or mixed numbers expressed on this line. We have 2 fifths, 4 fifths, and 1 1/5. So we can see here that we have a denominator of 5, which means we need to make 5 equal divisions between 0 and 1, and 5 equal divisions between 1 and 2. We're going to do that by placing 4 ticks, as equally spaced as we can make them. So I'm going to put 4 over here. And then what that means is this is going to be 0 fifths, 1 fifths for the next tick, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, and 5 fifths is equal to 1. And if we keep going up like improper fractions, we can say 6 fifths, 7 fifths, 8 fifths, 9 fifths, and 10 fifths. Now we don't have to do all of that on this number line, but I'm showing you how we go from a proper fraction to an improper fraction from 1 up until 2. Now we're going to place 2 fifths on the line, so we're just going to put a dot at that location, and then we label it with an arrow, usually writing 2 fifths. 4 fifths, we place a dot in that position, we arrow and label 4 fifths. And then 1 1/5 means we begin at the first whole number, 1, and we go to the first position of the fraction, which is the same as 6 fifths. So 1 1/5 is the same as 6 fifths, and so we will label it there. For the exercise question, we can see for number 1C, we have divisions of 6. So we're dividing the denominator into 6 equal parts. So therefore on our fraction, we're going to make our divisions. So we're going to make 5 divisions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to give me 6 equal parts if I make those 5 ticks, the 6th one being at 1, and 2, and 3. Now I can put these fractions on the line. 3 out of 6, first, second, third, so we go here. 3/6 is at the halfway mark, basically, although my divisions aren't great. 5/6 is going to be here. 9/6, we know that 1 is 6/6, so 7/6, 8/6, 9 is going to be here. 12/6, that will be 10, 11, and 12. 12 over 6 is equal to 2. And then 2 1/6, it's a mixed number, so we start at 2 and go to the first fraction, 2 1/6. So I'm just going to write that down there for space. For number 2, we're supposed to draw a number line and label the ends 0 and 5, and then show the approximate location of these fractions on the number line. So what we have here are different denominators, which makes a number line more difficult. But because we're being asked to make approximate locations, we can do this. So we're going to create a number line, and forgive me because mine's going to look pretty rough, starting at 0, ending at 5. And so I'm going to try my best to equally space these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put those in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I start to see what I have. I have 4 7/8. So 4 7/8 means that out of 8 equal spaces between 4 and 5, I would be at the 7th one, which is pretty close to 5. So I'm just going to approximately put that in as 4 7/8. The next one is 11/16. There is no whole number. Notice that this would be a 0, so we are looking between 0 and 1. So if we were to divide between 0 and 1 into 16 equal parts, 11 would be somewhere after the halfway mark, but not so close to 1. So I'm going to be putting it approximately here as 11/16. 24 over 6 is an improper fraction. What you may want to do to make it easier is to change 24 over 6 to a mixed number. In this case, it's actually going to change to a whole number. 24 divided by 6, or 6 into 24, goes 4 times with nothing remaining. So 24/6 is exactly at 4. The next one is 2 2/3, so this is going to be between 2 and 3. If I were to divide this into 3 equal pieces, we would be over here at the 2/3, so this is 2 2/3. For the next one, 1 3/4, this is between 1 and 2. So if we were to divide this into 4 equal parts, we would be in the 3rd position. So 1 3/4. And my last mixed number is 3 1/5, which is between 3 and 4. And if we were to divide this into 5 equal pieces, we would be at the first piece. So I'm going to put it approximately there. You can certainly make the divisions based on the denominator, but because they're asking for the approximate location, it's not fully necessary. One thing to note for question number 3 is that there are more choices for number 3 than there are arrows. So I won't solve number 3 with you, but if you look at number 3, you're going to see a whole bunch of fractions that you have to place on the line, but you will have more fractions than you can put on that line. So some of them you won't use. The last question for this exercise is number 5. John ate 2/3 of a sub for lunch. Carol ate 3/4 of a sub for lunch. Who ate more? We can show this as number lines and compare. Now, if you're into baking, you probably already know the right answer. But if you're not, you may need to draw a couple number lines to help yourself see it visually. So I'm going to make 2 number lines that are equal in length. And because it's 2/3 and 3/4, it's like 0 and 2/3 and 0 and 3/4. So my number lines are going to go from 0 to 1. For 2/3, that means I'm going to divide this number line into 3 equal parts. So I'm going to put 2 ticks. And for 3/4, I'm going to divide into 4 equal parts. So I'm going to put 3 ticks. And when I place these fractions on the number line, 2/3 is in this position, 2/3 is here, and 3/4 is in this position. 1, 2, 3, 3/4. So we can see, and I'm a terrible artist, but if this is John's sub, and this is Carol's sub, the amount they ate, we can easily see that Carol ate more. 3/4 is greater than 2/3.